Hi, and welcome to episode 75 of Coffee with Mirko. I'm glad that you're here, and I hope you're so safe and well. I just want to thank you for being listening, and thank you for tuning in, and thank you for being part of this coffee community. I really appreciate each and one of you guys tuning in, listening to our podcast, our live streams. It's just really a real pleasure. And today we are Nisan, and he's already tuned in. So without further ado, we're gonna bring him in and have a chat.
Hey,
Good morning. How are you,
morning.
brother?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for giving us an hour of your time. I know you're busy with your work, and I really appreciate you coming here and
No worry.
have a chat with us. And before we get started, how are you and your family with this whole situation?
Yeah, we are fine. I mean, my family lives in another city, in a village, so they're having their retirement life. So they're pretty good, I would say, like isolated all the time. So we stayed at home like 3 months. I stayed at home. I almost stuck in Netherlands at the beginning of this situation because our government canceled all the flights back home, and I was in Amsterdam for Amsterdam Coffee Festival, and then they canceled, and then I had to fly to Zurich, and then
Yeah,
from Zurich to Istanbul. So it was a little bit complicated at the beginning, but then I was at home until I would say middle of June. But
okay.
after June, it's pretty good. I mean, the business is good, but right now numbers are not so good because we had holidays and stuff like that. So we'll see. I mean, we are fine. Most of my friends are fine. I mean, almost all. I didn't hear anyone from my circle get the got the virus or anything like that. But yeah,
That's
it's
good.
pretty good. What about you?
Yeah,
You
good, good. We are still in lockdown in Melbourne because we are, we're still stuck, but it is what it is. We just got to take a positive outlook out of it. And Nathan, I just as a first question that I have for you is, could you kindly tell us a bit more about how you started your coffee journey and coffee career?
I to be honest, I started as home barista because I graduated as software engineer from college. And during my college years, I was brewing coffee at home, like with filter coffee machine or French press mostly. Then I didn't quite like the taste of the coffee, to be honest.
Hmm.
Like it was like 10, 12 years ago. And then I was like, okay, if everyone is talking about, oh, okay, rich aroma, perfect taste, balance, this and that, then there should be something, right? I mean, there should be something for my. Then I started to search online forums and uh, social media, like Google Forums back in that time. Then I found the uh, alt.coffee and Coffee Geek and Home Barista. Then I ordered my first V60, which was plastic, and I'm still using it at home. And yeah, I started to brew coffee, and then I realized that coffee is really good. It tastes good.
The connection is very, the connection is actually very jumpy, fortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, you keep coming in and out of connection. Really, yeah, I'm not sure if you're. I'll try.
Change my network. Maybe this will be a little bit better.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you still have the first V60 that you purchased, and you fell in love with coffee pretty
Yes.
much.
Yeah, then I was buying coffees from different roasters. Then in 2013, I believe, the first third wave or specialty coffee shop place was open in Istanbul, and I was buying from him or other small roasteries or from Europe or somewhere else, brewing coffee at home. Then I purchased my espresso machine, one group espresso machine. Yeah, and then to be honest, I like my job as a software engineer back in that time. And then I said, okay, maybe I can challenge myself and do something else. What about coffee? Because I like coffee. I have passion for coffee, and but having a coffee shop, staying there from I don't know for long hours, or opening a roastery, roasting coffee at the high temperatures and sweating like a pig all the time, it was not for my thing. Then I studied on that. I thought what I can do. Then at end of 2016, I started my coffee career as a freelance barista.
Mm. Which
Then,
is which is really cool because you've just proven that it's possible to start off such a big jump from software engineering to coffee,
yeah,
which is beautiful. And like you said, you were enjoying software engineering. It's just at the time you wanted a different challenge, and you sort of, this is a big passion of mine. I think it's such an underestimated question that we should ask ourselves on a daily basis. What are you passionate about? And sometimes people say to me, oh, well, I'm passionate about football. And I say, it's okay, because you can become a football manager, a sporting director, a scout, a blogger, a photographer, you name it, a journalist, or even the commentator. Like, there's so many
yeah,
different jobs within football. And that's the same with coffee. Like you said, you're like, I'm not keen to be roasting and, be near, in a hot position all day, but I'm still passionate about coffee, and you pursue that passion. And how difficult was for you to be in Turkey, which is such a strong culture around coffee, but not quite the third wave, as it's called?
I like everything at the start. It was difficult, not easy. I mean, especially the things I wanted to do. So right now we are doing three things. I think I need to explain this.
Mm.
The first one is training. The second one is consulting, and the third one was doing events, serving coffee, specialty coffee at events, like you name it, any event, fairs, festivals, whatsoever. So at that time, I was trying to show myself at the events, and I was trying to convince companies they should invest more for the coffee catering service so they can attract more people, or they visitors can stay at their booth for a longer time.
Mm.
So it took like 6 or 7 months to find my first client,
Mm-hmm.
and we are still working. It was like 3.5 or 4 years right now. So it was really difficult. Plus, Turkish people are very conservative.
Mm.
So probably the most conservative people on earth, because imagine a metropolitan city, which is Istanbul, which doesn't have a Chinatown in the world. So I think we have this only in Turkey. So when I say, okay, I can do training, I can do this and that, they're like, but have you ever worked on a bar? I said, no, but do I need to? So Mourinho was a translator, but he has Champions League or you name it, anything you can imagine right now. So it was really difficult, but some people trusted me, and when we work together, one work created another work and created another, and this was like a chain reaction. Then people realize that, yeah, you don't need to do this in order to serve for a purpose.
Yeah, and that's sort of like what you do on a day-to-day basis. And I think, it's important that what you're doing is pretty much you're one of the pioneers in Turkey for the movement, and you're kind of
Thank you.
like trying to introduce it. And it's really admirable because it takes a lot of resilience, and it takes quite a certain type of character to be able to receive a few no's, or maybe a lot of no's. It's not easy. I've done a
Yeah.
job where I had to, my conversion rate was pretty much, I don't know, 2% if lucky on a good week. So I get it. It's difficult, especially because it gets hard, because when you know that what you're doing or saying would actually be better for people, because a lot of time sales is looked in a bad light, that you're trying to sell them to make money. But when you're actually providing a solution that would make people's lives or businesses better, or advance, and being able to progress, it can be frustrating, but you've been persisting and keep going. Was competing and reaching 3 times, winning 3 times the national barista in Turkey a motivating boost for you, and also a little bit of almost like a business card when you now talk with conservative people and you say, well, actually, I'm the #1 barista in Turkey, so to speak?
Yeah. Yeah, it helped me a lot, to be honest, because when I first started, nobody knew me in the industry. So it helped me a lot to open some doors, to meet some people, because if you go to a place and say, hey, my name is Nisan, who the fuck are you? I mean, but when you go, yeah, hi, my name is Nisan and I'm barista champion of Turkey. Oh, hey, the behavior is different, which is not good, but this is the world. I mean, yeah.
But you're also fighting a tough battle, because you're not in a city like Melbourne, or like you said, you're in a more conservative area, which brings extra challenges. So I get you. It's not nice, but it's an extra tool in your toolbox when you need it.
Yeah, exactly.
And what made you go, I'm gonna compete?
Yeah, this is a funny story, to be honest. The first competition, the year before I competed for the first time, I was watching the competitions. I think it was the worst competition in Turkish history. I mean, probably people will confirm this if you ask. Because we had 12 baristas competing at the barista competition, and 6 were disqualified. So a friend of mine was competing and he had some problem at the grinder, and he said, I mean, he finished this competition at 3 minutes. He didn't serve one single espresso, but he was on the finals because the other 6 were disqualified. So we were talking with a close friend of mine, and I was like, you know what, I can do better, probably many of these guys. And he was like, no, you cannot. Yes, I can. No, you cannot. Then why don't you compete next year? I said, okay, done. Challenge accepted. Then I competed. I became second at my first competition, like super close. Then probably it was the first seeds of my coffee career, I would say.
Good. And then obviously that pushed you to sort of keep going and keep training, and the next year, I believe, you won your first one.
Yes. I can call myself a fighter. I don't stop until I consume everything of what I started.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, this is not the end. So I'm gonna compete and I'm gonna win. And then I won, yeah.
And competition looks easier than what it is. I mean, it's not that easy, both mentally and physically, and also financially, depending which category you sort of
Yeah.
competing in. But what would you say to people who want to start to compete? I mean, now it's a bit difficult with the virus, but in a normal scenario, what's your advice, number one, to a young barista who wants, not even
Uh,
old, doesn't matter, who wants to start competing?
yeah, the first advice or only advice I can give, start, I mean, prepare yourself mentally. I mean, if you want to win. If your aim is, okay, I just want to have fun, then go and have fun. It's okay, don't spend too much money, just buy a coffee from retail, just ask people for equipment or whatsoever, and then go and compete. But if you want to do something serious, prepare yourself mentally. Because I don't know how many times I fought with my friends or my girlfriend or the people who tries to help me. I mean, like we were almost fighting, like punching each other, stuff like that. Plus, if you want to do something really, really serious, especially with the Turkish lira, devaluation and stuff like that, you will spend a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. Prepare yourself. Don't say, okay, why this is so expensive? Why should I buy this? Just to prepare your mind as well, you need to buy some stuff more than you need. Because imagine if you broke or break some glass. So you need some extra ones. So you need to spend more money. You need to buy more coffee. You need to do this. And even for 1 second or zero point 0.5 points, if you need to spend like 1,000 euros or dollars, you will spend because I mean, 0.5 points is too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and read the rules.
How do you prepare yourself mentally before you jump into the arena?
I cannot, to be honest.
You
I,
cannot.
I,
Okay.
I cannot. I mean, I don't know. I start preparing or preparations around 8 to 9 a.m. and I leave the training place around 1 a.m. in the night, usually. And yeah, sometimes I stay alone. I tell my friends, okay, go. I want to stay alone. And yeah, I watch some videos like, I don't know, funny videos, cat videos, stuff like that. And I lift some weights. This helps me a lot. I try
Mm.
to go to gym almost every day. So lifting weights help me. So maybe one sport like swimming, I don't know, running or something like that, it can help. I just put my earphones and listen my music, try to not to think anything. This kind of helps, but I cannot say I'm the best one or I can handle this like I should do, to be honest.
I think
Confession.
that's,
Yeah.
but that's okay because it's something that you can
Yeah.
work towards. Um, it's
Yeah.
something you have sort of narrowed down what you need to what you can look at improving, and then you're
Yeah.
working on it, which is fantastic. And so you started a few years back, and since then, since the very first specialty coffee shop that opened in Istanbul, how has the coffee scene changed in the past, 5,
Ooh,
6, 7 years?
it's booming. I mean,
Okay.
like there are many, many, many coffee shops, many, many roasteries right now. Small ones, big ones. Everyone is investing for, so to speak, specialty coffee. Not all of them, of course, but they are trying to improve their coffee game. Anyone, I mean, Chibo, I mean, you know, Starbucks Reserve, we have like maybe 20 Reserve shops here. Uh, Now some companies are bringing coffee from coffee imports or Nordic approach. They were like local dealers bringing single origin, but kind of commercial coffees, or let's say fine coffees, not specialty. Now they're bringing from Nordic approach, their representative, I guess. Some other companies like coffee imports. People are buying. I mean, they are investing, and now I would say thanks to lockdown or virus, many people have coffee equipment at home, grinders, I don't know, V60s or kettles or scales
So,
whatsoever. So people are buying more coffee online.
well, yeah, which was actually one of my next questions. So now, basically, because of the lockdown, have you seen also what you were saying, like a bit of a spike with people brewing at home? And the reason why I'm asking is because I believe that this is such an important element for the industry, because personally, I think that the more home brewers and home baristas, uh, the better it is in a way, because they will start appreciating more certain type of coffees as well as certain type of coffee shops, and they're hopefully going to appreciate the role as a barista with a different eyesight, a different mindset. Like, okay, well, it's not just the barista; it's this guy knows his stuff, or this girl knows her
Yeah,
stuff. So I think
exactly.
so. How much and what's popular amongst Turkey as far as home brewing?
Mostly V60, I would say,
Hmm.
and Chemex and Aeropress, I guess,
Okay.
mostly. And many people have Comandante and Grinder right now, which is kind of, I would say, expensive if you compare to others, but local dealer here, distributor, is doing great job. So we have a Time More distributor. I think they're doing good. And we have a neo hand grinder manufacturer here. They're building here. So I guess they're doing good job as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think this is temporary, to be honest. Brewing at
Hmm.
home, yeah, I mean, at least 10% will be will stay there. They will brew at home constantly. But most of them are like, okay, we are at home, let's brew coffee, let's make our coffee, and then next day when they go to office, they will forget. But this is like a how can I say raindrop effect. So once they taste a good coffee, their friends will taste as well, or family members. So it will be like a raindrop effect, like
Yeah, yeah, I know what
so
you ripple
getting
ripple
one
effect.
get yeah, yeah,
That's
it's ripple thing, yeah.
yeah. It's true, because then once you have that good cup of coffee and you made it yourself, and then you go to a shop and you don't like the coffee, then you start picking on some defects or some errors, which is cool. I think it starts with one single conversation, like you were, at the early days of your career, one of the few, and now you've seen the movement changing. And speaking of movement, like Turkish coffee, the way you guys make it, originally it's still very big. Have you seen different coffee going in? Like, what's the Turkish coffee scene?
I mean, to be honest, there is not only one Turkish coffee. So that, as far as I know, there are more than 40 different recipes. So during war, for example, they did a coffee-like beverage with chickpeas in a city. So I mean, Turkey is a really interesting country. So if you change one city from the next one, you can find different recipe or different kind of coffee. So But typical Turkish coffee or the traditional Turkish coffee is it was co mostly coffees from Yemen
Hmm.
and kind of delicious. But right now, for the last 50 years, maybe, it is the lowest grade of Brazil, specifically from Rio Minas, and it is not good. But right now, what we are doing is we are using any coffee for Jezve coffee or Ibrik coffee. So I don't prefer to say Turkish coffee because when people say to me, what is Turkish coffee? Automatically, I think as beverage, not the preparation method.
Yeah, okay.
So
Gotcha.
this is what in my mind, what's in my mind. So right now, you can put any coffee. I mean, this is what we are doing, but mostly the feedbacks are, okay, this is not Turkish coffee. This is something else. Yeah, but it is delicious. Like a natural
Which
Ethiopian or a geisha, it can surprise you in Turkish coffee or Jezva coffee.
which is
The-
fantastic because
Yeah,
it's like because I think my country, so I think the mocha pot, I think at the end of the day the method is one element, but a lot to do is the recipe, the
yeah,
coffee that goes in it, and the water. Those are
yeah,
the three elements, the three biggest variables.
yeah,
Same with siphons or more cultural kind of ways to make coffee, and that's okay. I think actually it's almost more connecting if the method is known with different coffee, in my opinion, because at
yes,
least if I go to my parents and start making an AeroPress, you and I, it's very normal. They're gonna look at them like, oh, it's plastic. I don't know. It's already a barrier. The method. Forget about the coffee that goes in it. I think instead I made them a mocha and maybe change the filter for a specialty coffee filter for the mocha, a different recipe, maybe the James Hoffman recipe, and I put in a beautiful coffee that's going to be not too crazy, but much sweeter and less bitter, freshly grounded. All of a sudden, they expect something because they know the mocha pot, but the end result in the cup is going to be so different. And I think it's actually quite beneficial to try those traditional methods with different coffees.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But still, at the end of the day, they say, this is not like Turkish coffee. This is something different. This is good, but yeah,
Which is good. It's
we,
okay.
yeah, if they like it, it's good. But again, we are very conservative, so I don't think many of them will go at coffee shop and ask, you know what, can you make this Turkish coffee with this bean or something like that?
Yeah.
Because we don't appreciate Turkish coffee, to be honest. As Turks, we don't appreciate Turkish coffee.
That's interesting. I didn't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. It's because, um,
it should be cheap, the cheapest, or it should be served for free after you eat a meal in a place as a gesture. This is what we expect. I mean, we don't
yeah,
appreciate the preparation method, the history. Like this is the oldest method, like 500 years. So I think we
that's
should, ex
amazing.
yeah, we should do this. I mean, I don't know. Kind of broken my heart, but yeah.
Well, there's always hope. And Nisan, before I jump into a question that is connected to what we're talking about, this is the we kind of reached the halfway of the chat, and I usually ask the same question to everybody. It's a out of the box question. If you could, who would you like to have dinner with?
Cool. From
It
Coffee
can
World
be
or anyone? Anyone.
anyone. It's your dinner,
Hmm.
guest.
Hmm. Dude, difficult question.
Like,
Never
good.
thought. Never thought. Uh, Probably Peter McKinnon.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a videographer, photographer, Canadian. Maybe you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's interesting. It's good. I love to ask this question, and
yeah,
there's no right or wrong answer. It's your. That's good. And sort of, I'm gonna check him out later for sure, Peter McKinnon. And sort of transitioning from a traditional way to make coffee, like you were saying, breaks your heart. Istanbul, I think, it's such a beautiful. It's such an interesting place. It's in the middle between East and West, and throughout a huge history, and it has it still is the epicenter of many different cultures, many different, you got religions and all of that. Like, I find it fascinating how now potentially coffee's kind of, making its way into being part of Istanbul, and it's just a different little culture, it's like,
yeah,
okay, well, for 500 years it was like this, and now you are actually part of the historical moment in the Turkish coffee, because in 1,000 years they're going to talk about you and all the other people involved in Turkey saying, well, actually this guy started brewing this way or that way. So do you see how in the future this is a quite a historical moment for Istanbul coffee scene?
yeah. I think it will be. I mean, still, when you check, there are like 5 to 10 people, I would say, who started this movement, and we are still in business. So I think it will be at some point it will be, because whatever you do, people talk. Because being pioneer or bandwagon, this is it. I mean, so I think I'm not sure from 1,000 years from now on if people will talk about us, but at some point people will talk, you know what, there was this guy and this girl or this woman, they started this movement and they did great job or bad jobs or whatsoever. Yeah, mostly some people will laugh about us, what we were dealing. Yeah, it will happen because it you are developing, evolving, and when
Yeah,
we look at like 50 years ago, what people were doing, we were laughing. Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty much same.
I think it's a beautiful spot to be, in the sense that, I'm just going to make a small comparison, but, for instance, Indonesia, right? Indonesia, such a big, passionate country about coffee, right?
Yeah,
And now it's that we're starting to see much more, for the past, especially 10 years, is big boom and growth of different style of coffee, how they roast even the processing of farm. And,
yeah,
obviously we're seeing people like Miko Jassin, reaching,
yeah,
top 10 in the world, or top 5, I can't remember, I think top 5
yeah,
WBC. So I think, and it's, all these people are slowly, like you were saying, with the ripple effect, putting, in this case, Indonesia on the map. And I think Turkey is just going to be another of those stories of such a passionate country about coffee. Yes, conservative, but you guys have just started there, your job, and
yeah,
I'm really looking forward to see what's next for Turkey, because I think it's going to be really interesting to see what
yeah.
what
Maybe
what can
maybe
happen.
we grow coffee. There's a guy from my hometown,
Yeah,
southern part of Turkey. He planted some coffee beans. Now they did the first harvest. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe
there you go.
yeah, maybe we grow our own coffee.
That's right. And something that's always related to coffee is hospitality. I think hospitality is a very much, a very, very much strong element of the coffee industry. Without hospitality, there's no coffee, in my opinion. How important is hospitality in a coffee shop in Turkey the same as hospitality you get when you have when you visit someone's house? Like,
Uh,
is that a big, strong element from my understanding?
at some places, yes, but mostly no. I think this is our main problem in our independent coffee shops, I would say.
Mm.
The coffee is good, design is good, the cups are really cool, everything is good. I mean, but the hospitality, the baristas are not smiling, or when you try to engage, they seem like they don't wanna do most of the time. I think this is the main problem.
Mm.
When I do training, I say, okay, they say Turkish people are very hospitable people, but this is not a the right saying. But you can prove it is wrong. It is right. So you should smile, even if you have a bad coffee, or let's say medium class coffee, with a smile, or with your service, customer service, or whatsoever. You can make your guests feel comfortable and enjoy that coffee more.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I think,
there are some places here I feel super comfortable. I know they don't have super good coffee. They have okay coffee, but I prefer to go those places.
yeah. See, I think it's the full experience, isn't it? Like
Yes.
it's like drinking coffee at home alone, or drinking coffee at home with your whole family or
Yeah.
friends, or
Yeah.
you know, it's different. I rather drink a okay coffee, but with company and talking and engaging, because it's still such a human people interaction, connecting
Yes.
moment. Like you said, it's, in Turkey is a 500-year history behind coffee. Coffee is almost an excuse to connect, to bring different groups of people together, to connect the pieces and create and tell the stories and sharing the
Yeah.
knowledge about different things.
Yeah. A friend of mine once told me the coffee is the cheapest luxury, and I think that's right. It is the cheapest luxury to relax, to go out, to, I don't know, have fun, sit and chat with your friends or loved ones. I think we need to focus on full experience, not just only good coffee or good machine or good design, architecture, whatsoever, but from entering the place till getting out.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And I think to
I
add a
think,
piece of that, go on.
yeah, I think this is what most of the coffee shops in Turkey are missing. They focus on buying the good quality machines, grinders, and coffees, but not focusing on leveling up their customer service.
Which is actually something that we see even in other places in the world, even here,
Yeah,
there's
really.
this. Yeah, I mean, we. I think there's a difference between knowing that you should have good customer service and actually doing it. I mean, look,
Uh,
a lot of people do an amazing job, but you still have the odd one to where, where is cultural differences, where is, they're just not, but, generally speaking, it's quite good. But I think to add to that, I think there's also a need to make the experience better for the home brewers, because I think, because of the lockdown, and, maybe there's going to be another one
yeah, yeah, yeah,
soon, or next year in winter. Look at Europe; they're looking like it's going to go second
yeah,
lockdown. You never know. And I think it's quite the same. I think maybe there's a way to connect with people and enjoy the brew, maybe like this virtually. I'm actually planning to do a big virtual coffee table at some stage,
yeah.
hopefully the next week. But I think
Nice.
having a better experience drinking that coffee at home would be interesting, and we'll see. more people innovating. So for instance, Amy and Mathieu, they're now sending even the water that they use with their package. So not only you get the coffee, you get their recipe, but also the water they use pre-packed. So like ultimately you are pretty much almost guaranteed to have a very, very similar experience that they want you to have. So I think experience is very important with coffee.
Yeah.
In terms of coffee, like what's your sort of mission for the coming years?
So my main mission is to reach out more people, especially in Turkey. So that's why I'm trying to build a online course like Barista Hustle, but in Turkish, but mostly videos, because people are calling me and asking prices and then checking for the courses and then checking the hotels and flights and whatsoever. So it costs a lot and they have to leave their place. This is the main problem. So if I can come up with a online platform that you can check even with your cell phone before your bedtime, this can be cool. So I can reach out more people, and my, to be honest, main mission or my main experience, I would say, is on sustainability. So I'm working on that as well. I don't want to say too much, but I have, let's say, around 5-6 kilo frozen coffees, both green and roasted. So I'm trying to find a way for mainly roasteries or home baristas that you can buy expensive coffees. You don't need to roast immediately and brew. So you can freeze your green and save for this time of period. And then you can buy roasted coffee, for example, like geisha, for a very expensive price. And you can freeze and you can enjoy for a longer period. So I explained a little bit this freezing coffees, vacuum packing and then freezing on a forum, Turkish forum. And now most of the people are freezing coffees here, home baristas, which is pretty good because they can buy more coffee, they can get cheaper prices, and they can save money. So, which is really good. So I think we need to focus on sustainability more and more since this is lockdown. I think this lockdown can teach us a lot, or we can focus on many things a lot, which is really good. So yeah, my main mission is working on sustainability.
I think, and I think, look, like you said, the lockdown has hopefully, for the lucky ones like myself, where I have a roof and I have basic essentials, has given opportunities to think, opportunities to create, and like you said, and sustainability is a big topic. I think ultimately it comes down to one principle, in my opinion, which is each individual's actions have consequences on the planet, and we just need to be conscious on what and how and when we buy anything. So it's not just recycling, it's not just plastic free. It's always okay, what was required to make a liter of milk, how much water, how much electricity, how much land, how much deforestation. Same with I don't know, in a metropolitan city like Melbourne. Right now it's winter, but we still have tomatoes from maybe America. So okay, if you buy that tomato, your footprint is quite bad.
Yeah.
Same with a lot of different ingredients. So I think we are much more in control than what we believe. But I think that people's mindset is set on, well, someone will figure it out and they will fix it, which is okay. It's okay. It's very normal. Like we all kind of hope. A lot of us that hope the governments or agencies or companies to come up with solutions. You know, they think that's their job. I also think that we can really help individually speaking with what we choose and how we choose and how consciously and mindfully we are, and understanding and learning what's behind what we get. But ultimately, there's no perfection as well, because that's the other part.
Yeah.
We need to be comfortable with the idea that perfection doesn't exist. Even if you are, vegan, plastic-free, minimalist, you're still creating something bad somewhere in the chain. There's no perfection, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
And but it's good. It's good you focus on sustainability. And frozen coffee is hitting big wave here in Melbourne too. So I'm glad there's a.
I mean, focusing on sustainability helped me a lot on my job as well, especially on consulting and training. So we used to throw away the retention when you do grind setting on grinders. Now we are collecting those particles, and then we are using the latte art. Just a second. Someone is knocking the door.
Yeah, so guys, there you have it. It's been an interesting conversation, and thank you, Lukas, for what you said, and I appreciate your comments. And no, don't be sorry. It's okay.
Cargo guy came. So yeah, now we are using those particles on latte art, and then we are saving a lot on milk, because I found a way to use the same milk, for at least 4 or 5 times. So on trainings, we used to spend like 40 to 50 liters milk per person. Now we are wasting, let's say, like 12 to 15. So which is pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely, very good. Yeah, 100%. I love it. Nisan, we're reaching slowly the end, because Instagram will chop this off very quickly. They give you only 30-second countdown. So I just want to leave you a couple of big questions so we can give you plenty of time. So what would you like to see in the future of coffee, both in the world as well as in Turkey? And Andre is saying hello to you.
Hey, Andre.
We were just talking about sustainability, Andre. He loves sustainability, so we were just talking about that, Andre.
Miss you. So, what was the question? Sorry, I forgot.
What would you like to see in coffee, in the future of coffee, both worldwide, from farm, also to big cities, as well as Turkey?
So to be honest, for farms, I want to see we pay more for farmers, because I visited farms in El Salvador and just a second. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Günaydın abi, gel. Hoş geldin. İyi. Bir canlı yayındayım da. Otur 2 dakika. Yeah, so if we pay more for farmers, because I visited them and I saw them, and they save some of the coffee bags in their bedrooms. So this is not good, or the way they live is not good. So for the farmers at farm level, I want to see this. I want to see we pay more for farmers. At the coffee shop level, I want to see more, I would say, better hospitality, especially in Turkey. And I would say better how can I say this? I want to see the chains or the way that your coffee goes through more openly, right? Like where you're buying, which coffee is this, how you roast, how you brew, what you're getting. I don't want to see you read what's written in the back, especially in a coffee shop. And when I try to reach someone, I can reach easily, especially if this one for home brewers or home baristas. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
this is what I want to
makes
see.
sense.
I want to see more sustainable businesses, not like everyone else is jumping coffee business because they think there are a lot of profit, which is not.
You
There's
do it out of passion and you do it out of love. And look,
yeah,
I I always say I run a social media. Like, I've been in coffee 9 years, and even though I run a social media agency, if money was what I wanted, I would probably do social media for dentists or plastic surgeons because I can charge 7, 8 times higher. Instead, I
yeah,
worked with coffee roasters and cafes, and I can't charge as much as I can charge other industries. You do it out of love, you do it out of passion, you do it because you feel that sort of need to create together.
yeah,
And look, in terms of sustainability, maybe you're gonna like this, but there's actually because I think waste is something that interests you. But in Melbourne, there's a company called Reground, and what they do is basically a cafe sign up with them, and they every day with their van they go and collect all the waste, the pucks, and they reutilize that into, I think it's like what is they do fertilizer. Like they actually
hmm,
repurposely use that rather than going to waste. So it's
yeah.
quite interesting. Yeah.
I send our pucks to a friend of mine. She's doing scrubs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, no, she uses them as well. But
There you
this is
go.
little, not big, or I cannot save the world, but I mean, maybe
Well,
the coffee shops can do this. It can be better, or
yeah.
it can make more difference.
It goes back to what I say, isn't it? We
Yeah,
all do what we can as individuals
yeah,
as long as we are aware of it. So,
exactly. Yeah,
uh, whether it's having shorter showers, whether it's your diet, eating different than or whether it's using 12 liters of milk rather than 50, we do what we can, and we just have to keep going. But Nisan, it's been such a pleasure having you. Do you have anything else left to say that you want to kind of share?
Um,
Or?
thank you very much for inviting me. It's a big honor to be
Thank
here.
you.
And yeah, be safe.
Yeah, likewise. And maybe we should do this again in a couple of months. Maybe
Sure.
we can change it up. If you have any ideas, we can have a little. Maybe we can
Yeah,
have a traditional Turkish coffee tutorial live.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not?
You
Yeah,
show the way you
maybe
make them.
different. Yeah, different recipes, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's keep in touch. I love it.
Yeah,
It was so nice to meet you, man. I really feel blessed
my
met
pleasure.
you, and
You too.
I'll talk to you soon, brother. And you have a
Yeah,
good day ahead.
you too. Bye bye.
Thank you, brother. There you have it, guys. It was very nice to hear all the things that Nisan has to share, um, the reality of Turkey, the reality of the Turkish coffee scene. It's super nice because I'm here in Melbourne, he's all the way in Istanbul, and I'm managing to talk to him and get an understanding of what it is like in Turkey, despite that I can't fly there and see it myself. And I think it's important to share with the world that coffee is such a beautiful, versatile tradition, and every country has their ways, and every country has the story behind the history, culture, and it's good that we can share it with you online. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you're well. Thank you very much for all your comments, especially who's still here. I know Instagram has been a bit, a bit, restrictive lately with me, but that's okay. It's part of the game. And I appreciate you if you're still listening on the podcast or on YouTube, wherever you are. If you're new, I would love if you took a screenshot, reshare this with your friends and family or on your Instagram, your social media. The more people know about this podcast, the better it is. If you're listening to it, you can just share it straight into your Instagram stories and make a recommendation to people who would like and enjoy this type of content. Today was episode 75. It's a big achievement, and there's going to be plenty more, and there's a big surprise for episode 100. But until then, take care, stay safe, and keep drinking awesome coffee.